Welcome back, guys. Welcome back to, and here we are. We are on episode 12 today. Episode 12.
I'm sorry, I didn't fix my microphone.
And we are going to talk about today love thyself, like body
Mhm.
positivity, things surrounding that. So for you in your life, what do you think you do to kind of give you more of a body positive?
I go to the gym. I'm tell you right now, I'm trying to go to the gym 4 or 5 times a week.
Really?
Yeah, I just I mean, one, it's healthier, but
Mhm.
I don't care what anybody it's for me. It's not so that somebody looks at me and be like, "Oh, she works out." I wanna look at me and be like, "I look good in them clothes." Or
And do?
I don't wanna have to buy I don't wanna have to size up. You know
Okay,
what I mean?
okay.
Like, I really don't wanna have to size up. I like my clothes. I got them. 'em. I'm like, "This is a good size." So I just try to work out.
How
Just
often
try
do you do
to
that?
like 4 or 5 days a week.
Okay. How do
Yeah.
you find time to incorporate that into your daily routine?
I get up early, make sure I drop Mia off,
Mhm.
and then no sooner I drop her off I started to drop her off a little bit extra early, like,
Okay.
as soon as they say the first loader she's the first load of kids in the morning,
Right.
"Unload,
Yeah.
get
You
out."
throwing
So
the
I can
baby
get to
to
the
the
gym
street.
yeah, so I can get to the gym by, like, 7:30, and
Hmm.
I'm usually in the gym for, like, maybe hour and a half,
Okay.
and then from there, it's straight home, start to work, but you just incorporate whatever you wanna do, or if you really want it bad enough, you'll find a way to incorporate it during the day. I have to do it because no one's there to watch Mia, and she's not old enough to go to the gym with me.
So you have to do it at that time.
Yeah,
So it's kind of like it works twofold
yeah.
because you are forced to do it then because if you didn't do it then you
I
wouldn't be able
won't
to
do it
do
at
it.
all.
Okay.
I wouldn't do it at all.
So how do
Like,
you, uh,
even, like, if for anybody who doesn't wanna go to the gym or who can't find time to go to the gym,
mhm.
you can incorporate little things like walking,
Right,
10,
walking.
15 minutes a day just in your neighborhood or just, you know, if you be like, "Oh, I can't walk 30 minutes straight." Like, you know
Right.
what? Break that up 10 minutes, 10-minute intervals. You know what I mean? 10 minutes here, especially if you work from home.
Right.
Man, you should be like you gotta move anyway because you can't sit there all day. You gotta get
True.
up and get some fresh air and move anyway. So
Right. Just turn the camera off on the Zoom and be in the park. I'm listening. Yeah.
you're like, yeah, you put or no, you put that back, you know how they put that background up?
And they're like, why is Donna Square moving so much? You in the park doing three
I
laps.
know. You be like, "Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. You just
Right.
I'm minding my business. Just
Right.
I'm just trying to stay in shape. I'm just
So do
trying to
you
stay in
think
shape."
that you working out aids in your whole body positivity? How does that affect your overall body positivity? I mean, that's kind of an obvious thing, but
Because when I look at myself, like,
mhm.
Imma be transparent. Imma be real transparent, and she'll tell you, and now you can ask Kyla too. I was like, "I didn't wanna wear this." I was just like, "Does this look good?
Right.
Does this look good on me?"
Uh-huh.
Do and she was like, "Do I see them thighs?" I was like, "No." Like
Said you got your thigh meat out.
yeah, I was just like, "No." Not that I'm being prudish. It
Uh-huh.
was a, like, I think my thighs are
Self-conscious kind of thing.
yes.
So have you always felt self-conscious about
No. I think as I've gotten probably but I probably after kids, I can honestly say,
mhm.
like, shit changed after
Yeah.
kids, and I'm just like, "Really? Really?" Like, don't get me wrong, I tell you, you hear every woman say this. I love my kids. I really
Right.
love my kids because there are women struggling to have kids who can't,
Right.
and I am thankful that I was able to give birth to 3 beautiful human beings.
Mhm.
But damn, my body took it took a hit. And I'm just
Right.
like, so some days, yeah, I am a lot more self-conscious about things that other people probably don't even give a shit about.
Right.
But it's me. Again, I don't do it for other people. I do it for me.
Right.
So, it's just and then again, you can attest to this.
Mhm.
As you age, there are just certain things you be like, damn, Yeah, I remember I used to put my arm up and it was all tightened. I was like, now I'll be like, oh, let me
You
like
see
do
what's
some
going
of
on here.
these.
Right,
Yeah, I
right. I
gotta do
got the
some
lunch
hammer
lady
curls.
arms
Yeah.
here.
You don't
The
want the
lunch lady arms. Anybody want some macaroni and cheese?
you don't want the arms with the like
The
hang over
giblet
like this.
arms.
I'll be like,
The
let me do
granny
these
arms.
hammer curls. Let me
So,
do some push-ups or
so
something.
now, so now, I guess that all comes with body image. Do you think that the ideas for what is considered um, good body image has changed over the years? Like the standard for.
You listen, it used to years ago. Remember, and I'm an age myself, but I remember my mom talking about this model called Twiggy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, and she really was
Yeah.
like a rail thin, and there was
Mm-hmm.
that thing of rail thin, and then for a long time we saw it was really rail thin models, and you had girls starving themselves,
Yeah.
bulimia, anorexia, all this stuff to get this rail thin body. And then all of a sudden, and I'm not sure when it happened, we just started seeing a lot more voluptuous women. Like you
Mm-hmm.
look on Fashion Nova and Sheen, like you can't find somebody who's not enhanced, I
Mm-hmm.
guess, at this point, who
Right. Right.
you know what I mean?
Enhanced. That's a good
Yeah,
word for
yeah,
it.
enhanced. And it's like, so now we've went from the stick figure to then it was plus size models that
Mm-hmm.
became a thing, and those are like the BBWs, big beautiful women. Like
Uh-huh.
so it's
So you think that
it
that
takes a turn
now,
it's turned like this, it's shifting like real thin.
do you think it's shifting because of um societal, like the acceptance of
Probably.
what is considered, I mean, standards change over
Yeah.
time
It always changes.
anyway,
Yeah, yeah.
but so those are more acceptable now to
Mhm.
be more voluptuous.
Yeah, more voluptuous because then instead of the rail thin and then like the six figures, you have the women going out and getting the BBLs because
True.
they wanted to, and
Enhanced.
yeah, they wanted to be more enhanced. And then
Right.
honestly, this is my belief, and I don't want to offend anybody when I say this, but those standards weren't for us.
Mm, okay.
You know, like the rail
The
thin,
real thing.
yeah, like those beauty standards we can't adhere to our standards because those standards, whether it's in the body, facial features, don't really represent us
Right.
because we are more voluptuous. Our lips are more full, our nose is a little bit
Yeah.
bigger, our hips are, you know what I mean? So
True.
it's
I was gonna ask that too. So do you think that just culturally that there's different standards
mhm,
across the cultural aspect?
yeah,
Without offending any
yeah,
cultures or saying
mhm,
that, or purporting to know
yeah,
what things are
yeah,
in different cultures, just from what we can kind of see across the board, like maybe your Spanish
mhm.
culture, they're more prone to be, not even prone to
Sexy.
be,
Like, yeah,
right.
they're
They're
very
more
yeah,
accepting
yeah,
of
yeah,
a,
yeah.
a more voluptuous
Yeah,
woman,
Afri certain cultures in Africa are more accepting to
absolutely.
that. They want the big like, it's like a
And it's a
thing, like yeah.
representation of wealth and being
Yes.
healthy. So
Yes.
those things
Yeah.
are kind of like where that stem
Yeah.
from.
Mhm.
And maybe more European standards are more on the lean side,
Yeah.
more Asian cultures is the
More on the
smaller
leaner
frame,
yeah, yeah, the
you
smaller
want to be
yeah.
as small as
Yeah,
possible.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I just it's changed, just the standard of beauty, but I think it
And you think social media has
yes,
had a lot to do
it
with
has
that?
a lot to do with it because you think about a lot of the people that people look up to that have the millions of followers.
Mhm.
Like, "Oh my god, her butt looks amazing. Oh my god, her boob looks amazing. Okay, she's
Mhm.
thin now. Okay, so now she's more voluptuous." And then
Right.
is that then you start to adhere to this. Social media plays a large part in, especially for women, not even so much. I don't even think men. Maybe men
Right.
do have body dysmorphia too, but
Mhm.
they are prone to eating disorders as well. It's not what
Right. It's
men
not
talk about
just
as
one
much.
sex,
Yeah,
right?
it's not just women, but women are always trying to feel like they're trying to chase that, "Oh, she looks perfect, like, this is what perfect looks like to me," and then because it's so much in your face, like, with all the enhancements and stuff,
Mhm.
then you have teenagers, which to me,
Yeah. They
I'm
got
a
the worst part of it.
yeah, you have teenagers that are you're already going through
Mhm.
the puberty, like,
Yeah.
and you're going through all these different things where you feel awkward about your body, these hormonal changes, and then
Mhm.
bullying, and then with the like, the boys
Right,
saying
right,
things
right.
and girls saying things to other things, and then it's like, then you have teenagers who wanna have plastic surgery, and then you actually have these parents who are allowing their teenagers. You have to give parental consent. First of all, you're under 18, you gotta give parental consent. I'm not giving parental consent to my child to enhance her body in any way, like, you're
Right.
not even finished growing
Yeah.
at this point. You haven't even come into
Who you are.
your womanhood and
Absolutely.
everything,
I'm
like, you're
just coming
gonna
into mine.
yeah, you know what I mean? Like, you have a lot there's a lot of road left between where you
Where you
are
are.
right
Mhm.
here now and where you will be. Social media plays a big part in a lot of things of how people look at themselves, feel good about themselves, feel bad about themselves. And
Yeah.
that's I think social media is good in some aspects, and I think in some other aspects, especially for the kids, because they're so impressionable. And every kid now, this is social media is a thing. Like,
So how do we keep the kids, or we both have young
girls,
teenage
yeah,
young girls
yeah,
who could be
yeah,
impacted by that if they're
yeah.
not a little bit already. Like, how do we kind of keep it, how do we level set that for them?
I think it is more so just speaking positivity to them. Like Kyla, Kyla is thin. Kyla's tall and thin. She was at a point where I think she might have been like, I'm thinking I'm too thin. I don't like this. I like this. But now I'm like, girl, you're going to grow into it. You just
Mhm.
give it time. You're going to, she's 23 now. Now she's like, oh, I weigh X, Y, Z. I'm like, girl, you putting them, she's like, I said, you putting them pounds on. Oh, I am not. I am not. I'm just like, but it looks good because,
Right, right, absolutely.
yeah,
Because you're, like you said, you're growing into
you're
it.
growing into
Right.
your womanly body,
Yeah.
you know?
And it's
And
hard for the younger ones to understand that, all right,
yeah.
because you go into those phases of you're a chunky little baby, then you
Mhm.
start walking and you thin
Yep. You thin
out,
out. Yeah.
and then you get kind of little big again because
Yep.
you're, eating different foods,
Yep.
and now you're in
Yep.
school. So it all kind of
Mhm.
it's the
Yep.
ebbs and flows of it
Yep.
all. I
Yep.
I think for me, I've kind of struggled with being subconscious
Mhm.
about my body frame too. Um, but now I and when you said you'll grow into it, in my head, I always thought that it'll catch up to
Mhm.
itself one day.
Yeah.
And I feel comfortable. I mean, yeah, you might say sometimes, oh, I wish I
Yeah.
could do this, or I
Yeah.
could, not do that, but for the most part, this is the body that I have. Like
Yeah.
the beach
Unless
is gonna
you
get the body that I give
yeah,
it.
unless and I'm not knocking anybody who does this,
Mhm.
nobody who does this, whether you enhance or de-hance. I guess that's a word. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you want people who want to be more voluptuous, so they're gonna enhance,
Right.
and then you have people who are already more voluptuous and they wanna
Scale down.
scale down. So they may
Right.
go for, like, the surgeries, or they
Mhm.
may go for the, like,
Reduction.
reduction if you feel like you're you know what I mean? Like, I've known women that, like, I've just had to have a reduction because of their back or
Right,
whatever.
right.
Then you have women that are like, "Oh my god, I wish I had your boobs. I don't have this, I don't have that." But it's always I feel like if you're tall, sometimes you wanna be shorter. If you're shorter, you wanna be
Yeah.
taller.
You
And if
always
you're
want that other
the
thing,
other
right?
side, if you're thicker, you wanna be thinner. If you're thinner, you wanna be thicker. If you got curly hair, you want straight hair. You got
Mhm.
straight hair, you want curly hair. You know what I mean? So it's
Right.
always
Love thyself. You gotta just
yes, it's
love what you
yeah,
have.
exactly. And I think it's hard for women
Mhm.
also, because whether men want to admit it or not, they want women to be all of these things,
Mhm.
to be the mother, to be the wife, or be the girlfriend, and cook, to clean, to do this, all this, and be this person. But you don't want us to age, or you don't want us to look too, you know what I mean, like out
Right.
of shape. Like, yo,
Right.
I met you 10 years ago. You was this, you was that, you was that.
Right.
But
10
what
years
about
before I
you?
had these kids.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Like, but what about you?
That's a
So
good
it's
point
it's
too.
hard to maintain, and a woman should want if you have a spouse or a partner who's like that, which you please don't be like that. But if you are like that and you're putting this emphasis on you want her to look good and she just had a baby. Let's be
Mhm.
realistic. We're gonna be real realistic. You just have a baby. Please give your body time
Yeah.
to go back. It took you 9 months to
To
make that
grow a
child.
human, right?
Give yourself at least 9 months. to
Yeah.
get back. Not because you see, oh, so and so on social media after she done had a baby at 6 weeks,
Right.
she back out in
Because
the
she got
bikini.
personal
She got a
trainers.
personal it's part a lot of this could be
She's
also
eating
be
crackers and
it could
sunflower
it
seeds
could be,
too.
and it could be genetics. It could be that she got up and started work out because again, she's on social media. She's
True.
expected to look a certain way. Would
True.
she want to sit there and want to recover if she could sit there in sweatpants and a big old t-shirt and
Right.
just sit there
Well,
and
she got a
eat?
tour next month.
You know what I mean? So it's a hard,
Right.
but give yourself that. And then I think there is societal pressure, not just societal pressures on social media and people, but pressures on ourselves. And then if you have a spouse that is expecting of that as well,
Mhm.
like give them grace. You know, you had a baby, like having a child is a tremendous feat. And then if you have multiple kids,
True.
that's a tremendous feat in itself. Like give yourself grace and give people grace. And society even looks at and you see it like, "Oh, she just had a baby. Oh, she's still a little chunky." Her baby's like 2 days old. Her baby's like
She
8
still got
days.
baby weight.
You know what I'm saying? Her baby's like 8
Right.
days old. Like,
Right.
but because she's a celebrity, you're expecting this false sense of this is how you're supposed to snap back, and
Right.
that don't happen like that for everybody.
So do you think you mentioned before about, you know, men go through the same thing kind of
Mhm.
thing. Do you think that it is different for men as far as what's acceptable for a man? Because like you said, we kind of
Yeah.
like look at men in different lights and
Yeah.
aspects, but a guy who is maybe what standards might consider less attractive,
Mhm.
he might get a lot of females, or
Mhm.
somebody that's a little more on the rotund side,
Mhm.
he might be more attractive to certain people.
Yeah.
Whereas if it were a woman, she would kind of only be looked at by a certain set of men. Like
Mhm.
some men like women that look like this or
Yeah.
like that. Do
It's
you
a
think that it's a
preference.
different you think that it's a different criteria across sexes or
It's
no?
oh, I feel like there's always a double standard. There's always
Mhm.
a different set of rules for men and then women, which I don't like. Like
Right, right.
a woman, and I think now it's just getting a little bit more acceptable as well too. Like women was always like, great, like your hair started to gray. Let me like dye my hair.
Mhm.
It's like now like you have women who are dyeing their hair gray
Right, right.
because it looks so
Yeah.
it's a beautiful color. But when a man was graying years ago, it was a sign of
Distinguished,
distinguished.
right.
You know what I mean? You
Yeah.
look, oh, you look distinguished.
They
Like
got
you
like a
look
whole what is it, Gray Fox,
just
Silver
Silver
Fox
Fox, yeah, like,
Club.
you look distinguished, but
Mhm.
then a woman years ago at that same thing when her hair was graying, "Oh, let me just cover up my
I
roots, and let me
do.
just" you know what I mean?
Uh,
"Cover it up because, I'm starting to look a little bit
right, right,
old."
right,
Society accepts a man turning gray, but
right.
it's like societal standards on a woman
Because
turning
he's
gray.
growing older gracefully, but a woman
Yeah.
is like,
Yeah, like you and I'm like, "No," but the gray look, I love I told like, I love that gray look.
that's a good
Oh,
look
I
right
seen a
there.
woman with a gray bob,
Ooh.
and it had, like, the shave, like, a little, like, undercut here,
Uh-huh.
a woman with a gray bob. I was like, if my hair ever grayed to that point, I was like, I might have to do
A gray bob.
a gray bob.
Okay. I mean, that's all about embracing,
Mhm.
she probably has to get to that point maybe
Yeah.
where she was like, "All right, you know what? Imma rock out with this and
Yeah.
it looks good on me."
Yeah.
And it's okay. She might have grayed early. Some people
Yeah.
gray early.
Yeah.
She could be 32 or she could be
Yeah, or she coulda or
59.
she coulda grayed her hair herself,
True.
like,
That's true too.
people are coloring their hair gray, or she coulda colored it gray because it looks really, really nice. I mean, it's beautiful. It looks absolutely gorgeous on her.
So besides the gym, what other kinds of things do you do to kind of support your healthy
I
self-love? What are all the things that you're doing to
I try
promote the
to eat
self-love?
self-love. I just part of self-love for me is just being able to look at myself and to be like, "Bitch, you look good today."
That's a very important
You know what
one.
I mean? Like,
Because if you don't tell you,
you
who gonna
look
tell you?
you know what I'm saying? Like, you look good
You
today.
did your big one today.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Right.
But a part of it, self-love, is also not doing things that I know are gonna be detrimental to my journey or gonna set me back. So
Right.
self-love is just not looking at yourself in the mirror and be like, "You got that today." You know what I
Mhm.
mean? It's part of it for me is going to the gym. Another part of it, if for me, is eating
Mhm.
what I'm try
Eating
to
better.
eating better.
Mhm.
Not that I'm a chocoholic to the core. Give me a good chocolate chip cookie or chocolate cake, some
Mm.
Dove chocolate, whatever it is, chocolate, I'll eat it up.
Right.
But if I know I did all this work during the week and Saturday comes and I'm gonna sit there, I'll allow myself to eat something, but if I'm gonna sit there the whole weekend and do nothing but binge on stuff, what have I done all of this work for during the week? So then it's like
True.
meal prepping. So that is, to me, it's just a whole gambit of self-love is talking positively to myself,
Okay.
affirmations I always do. Like,
Mhm.
if anybody follows me, like, especially on Facebook, that's where I post all of my daily affirmations.
Mhm.
Pretty much. Some other social medias get it here and there, get it here and there.
Right.
But that's it. Pouring into myself, self-love, like understanding that self-care is a pivotal part of self-love as
Mhm.
well. Because if you run down, like I can't continue to run the household. So I'm not sure, like what do you do to like, "Hey, you know what? Imma practice some self-love.
Yeah.
Imma go out and just, Imma do this today, or I feel like this today." Like, it could be even be shopping, like, it could
Right.
pick you up a little trinket, like,
Yeah.
anything.
It's the things kind of like you said in other episodes, do the things that make you happy.
Mhm,
I think that's part of the self love and not to excess where you're overspending or
mhm,
overdoing anything. But I think that that all feeds into your mental health. And I think that your
yep,
mental health has an impact on your overall physical
mhm,
well being,
yep,
which then will affect your perception of
yeah.
yourself. So I think for me, it's like you said, I may not stand in the mirror and be like, you got that, you know, or
I'm
however you did
wait,
that.
or turn around on my
Give me
heels and
get
like
give me the pew pew with my finger, the finger pew pews. I'm not doing the finger pew pews.
I don't do it, like, I was just that was just like,
I get it. What I'm
kinda in
saying,
my head, I turn around and pivot and I do that, but other than
right.
I'll be like, "Got it."
Right. But I mean, but like you said, yeah, just be keeping a positive state of mind.
Mhm.
Like, again, I always think that things could always be worse.
Yeah,
You wake up with a positive outlook.
yeah.
I think this week, I think to yesterday when I woke up, I said, today's gonna be a great day.
Mhm.
I knew I had to make this commute down here
Woo!
a million zillion miles. And I was like, it's gonna be fine. Like it's just gonna be a
It's gonna
good
be a good,
day.
yeah.
So, I think that that's part of it. And like you said, yes, I do like myself a little sweet treat more than
Mm.
I probably should, but but sometimes it's like, okay, you might go for it and then it's like, "Dag, I really
Yeah,
didn't need that," or "I really shouldn't have eaten that." And then sometimes you make a better food
yeah.
choice and you feel good
Yep,
about it or you're
yep.
full or something, and there's been lots of times when I'll say, "Let me just get some water."
Yeah,
Get some water, and then you find yourself it'll kind of quiet that food noise that you
yeah.
have.
Just drink this water and go to bed.
Let me just lay
Instead of
down.
eating
Let
this
me lay
brownie,
down.
instead of
Let me
eating
lay
this this
down.
this this, ice cream sundae
Mhm.
brownie.
Exactly. Nobody wants to eat this Ghirardelli triple
Mm,
chocolate brownie. I
mm,
don't want it. Give me some
mm,
water.
mm,
Maybe rub the
mm.
brownie around the rim of the
On
water
on the
bottles.
glass,
Yeah.
like, so you can taste the
Right.
remnants of brownie on your water glass.
So look, I have a survey actually
Okay.
about body
Mhm.
confidence. So according to a survey published by FHA Health, the question is do Americans become more or less confident about their bodies over time? So as
Men versus women.
men versus women,
Okay,
yes.
okay.
So less confident women become less confident
Mm,
47.46% of the time,
mhm.
and men
The
31.78%.
confidence be like, "Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
still
Right.
bad
I still
bottom, but I
got
don't
it.
care, I still got it."
So more confident women
Mhm,
26.52% and men
mm, mhm.
38.50%. So again, there's that whole women are like,
Yeah,
over time it's like, I'm not that sure about
yeah.
everything. But guys are like finger pew
I know
pews.
the finger pew pews turning
Yeah.
around at all, like, they don't
Right.
know.
They can have the gut, the
Yeah,
butt,
they don't care.
all of that, gray hairs,
They don't care.
scraggly hairs, the hairline back here,
They can
all of
have the
that.
George
They don't
Jefferson. It don't matter. It
the
don't
sunroof,
matter
all of
to
that,
them.
all of that.
It don't matter.
It doesn't matter. The same level of confidence, 24.50
Mhm.
0.55% of women and
Mm.
27.39% of women. So that's kind of similar that they're
Yeah.
about the same, no change in their confidence. And then I'm not sure. 1.47% of women, they just like, I don't want to
I
answer this
don't even know.
question.
I don't even
I
know
got to
about
see.
this. I got C. The
And
survey says I got C.
right,
I
and
got C.
2.33% of men.
Like the
So,
men's numbers always, it seems like it's always skewed
right.
higher, whether they feel less confident over time or they feel more confident over
Mhm.
time. A man, that should this take the takeaway of this is get you some confidence like a man.
That's
Walk
right.
around with the confidence of a
Walk
man.
around with your wife beater in your belly and all that. But again, I think
Mm,
that is you have to talk yourself into it and do the things like you said to kind of support that
mhm.
lifestyle because you just can't be reckless
Yeah,
drinking every day and
yeah,
eating what
yeah.
you want and then be like, I'm okay with this. But I was also reading that do we think that because now there's a shift in the whole body confidence, like are we more accepting of unhealthy lifestyles? Like,
Mm,
you understand what I'm trying to say? Like, so instead of they're saying instead of people that should be going to the gym or losing weight, like they're like, I'm comfortable with how I am.
yeah.
Eee. Yeah.
Okay, Imma use this as an example because this is the only example that I can correlate to this. Lizzo.
I was
Remember
thinking
when
that as I was
yeah,
saying
when
the
Lizzo first came
question.
out, she was heavier and she was like, "No, it's about body
Mhm, mhm.
confidence and body positivity," and people were, like, slamming her, and she was like, "Who says I'm not healthy
Right.
because I'm at this weight?"
Right. True.
Because we don't know. Just because yeah, she was heavy, she could probably outrun me on the treadmill, or
Yeah.
outrun anybody. Because 'cause I've
Me
seen heavier people run, like, I'm not a runner. I can tell you if somebody get behind me and I gotta run for my life, I'm running.
and FloJo
Y
passed away,
yeah.
unfortunately,
You
from a
know what I
heart
mean?
attack, and she was probably working out 9, 10 times
Yeah.
a week.
Yeah, so it you can't you don't know.
Right.
Was it heart attack? I think she might have epilepsy. I think she had
Oh,
yeah, it was
but she
epilepsy.
passed away,
Yeah,
but
in her
I
sleep. Yeah,
was
yeah,
trying to
yeah.
say
But
that,
she was very
health
health like
oriented, right.
fit. So it doesn't matter. Fit this society has an image of what a fit person
Mhm.
looks like. But here's the thing. You could be really slim, you could be going to the gym, you could do whatever, but your numbers and your cholesterol and other that
Mhm.
other stuff may not be that of
The
a
math don't math.
yeah, of a healthy person. You
Right.
can have a person who's heavier, who goes to the gym, who's eating a little, and that's just literally they're just heavier, but their numbers, their cholesterol numbers are better.
Right.
But when I was saying talking about Lizzo was because initially it was like people were like slamming her, like, we don't want to see you wearing that. You don't want your ass all out. But if it was a smaller ass, y'all wouldn't say anything. But I think she looks amazing either when she first came out and now, but then she started the whole journey and she's saying like she's done it naturally. It's not
Yeah,
Ozempic, it's not anything. She looks amazing and she touts like body positivity. She just gave
I
a
agree.
message the other day. She's like, anybody suffering with like body dysmorphia, take the compliment. Like you look
Mhm.
good. Like take the
Yeah.
compliment. And she looks amazing.
Yeah.
No,
It's hard for people with that probably
mhm,
to take the compliment because one, they've already told themselves that
they
that's
don't look
not
good.
true,
Yeah.
right? And you're just saying that
Yeah.
or you don't mean it
Yeah.
or something like that or I don't receive that for whatever
Yeah.
reason. So that's a hard thing. But so you think that is the things that we should do are like talk ourselves up to it and incorporate different things into a healthy lifestyle.
Yeah.
Again, I think that we have to check our mental because I think
Mm.
that
A mental has a lot to do with it. Your
yeah,
mental, your mind will quit on you before your body will. Like
true.
your even when you're doing anything, whether it's exercising, and if it's too hard, your mind will tell you you can't do it before your body actually gives out. So
Yeah,
your body's gonna follow your mind
right.
at that point. And then it's like and we do this, and I know if you have anybody out there who has like a best friend, like we we do it all the
What
time.
do we
We
do?
like hype each other up all the time.
Oh
You
yeah,
feel
I'm the hype
like
man.
yeah, and then she be like, well, I don't know,
I
she seemed
don't
like she had her hair cut. I was just like, "Girl," I was like,
out
like
here killing it.
yeah, I was like, yeah, I was like, "It looks amazing," like, and I got my braids done. You was just like, "Yeah,
I
my
said, "You
bestie."
stay on these people necks."
Exactly, and I was just like, so you always need
Yeah.
that best friend or that person in your life that's going like, "Listen," and at the same token,
Get rid of those naysayers.
yeah, and but at the same token, have a person in your life that is honest with you enough to
Mhm.
tell you when something is detrimental, or whatever the habit that you have is more
Right.
detrimental than healthy to whatever it is you are to try to achieve your goal. You know what I
Mhm.
mean?
Right.
Like, and we have a relationship where it's like, you be like, yeah, I don't think you should wear that. I'm like, no, no, really?
Nah, you
No.
what else you got in there?
Yeah, you know what I mean? You may not say
What's
it
the other
like
option?
yeah, you be like, "Is that option 1, option then this is go option B. We go option B." But you have to have a person like that, and I think it helps to have a safe space like that in a friendship, a
Right.
relationship, like anything. It helps to have that mental safe space
Mhm.
because you think about people who are dealing with like body dysmorphia or bulimia or anorexia, these things, and they just like they're looking through the lens of that and they're never gonna feel like they look good enough for
Right.
anybody.
Right.
And but we looking through the lens of, oh my God, you really do look amazing. We're really not
Right,
just
right.
telling you that
Right, right.
because it's your mental, like that,
Yeah,
and it's work that needs to be done on that. But society makes it hard.
they do.
It's
So
hard.
how do you think overall that incorporating all these things
Mhm,
into your
mhm.
lifestyle, and how do you think that has changed your your self-love, love thyself? How do you think
Yeah.
that has changed you?
It's a I ain't gonna I'm not even gonna hold you, I'm not gonna lie. Some days, it's more of a struggle for me than
Mhm.
other days. I'm like, some days I be like, "You really do look good. You look good. You look good today."
You cute girl.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? You're pretty.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah.
"Hey, you girl, you look good." Then there's other days I be like, "My none of these clothes is just I don't like the way
Right.
this fit.
Right.
I don't like the way this look. I don't like
Right.
the how I feel about this. I feel like a little like pudgy in the thighs."
Mhm.
I'm like, you know,
That's okay though.
yeah, but it is. And then I also have to realize, like, bitch, you about to be 52. Like,
That part.
you about to be 52. So on that,
Give yourself some grace.
yes, a lot of grace. But on that, because you're aging, there's a lot of changes. We've never been here before.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
And
Like,
here we are.
yeah, exactly. And here we are. We've never been
Right.
this age before. We don't know what to expect with these changes. And then your
Mhm.
body's hormonally, women, you're going through at a certain age, menopause, perimenopause, all this other stuff, which have sometimes knocks you out of whack
Yeah.
with all other things that go on. Like, you like, what the heck is going on? Like, women get the short end of the stick, I
Yeah, we
swear.
do.
And so now you're like, "But I've never been here before, but I know what I used to look like. I know what I used
Mhm.
to be, and I know what I used to feel like.
Mhm.
How do I
Get back there.
get back exactly,
Mhm.
get back there?" But then you
Do
gotta
you wanna
kinda
be back there?
yeah, then you gotta kinda wrap your head around it. You're never going back there.
Right.
Like, it's never
It's a wrap.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're never going back to
Right.
32.
Right, right.
You know what I mean? And then but that's with the comes the surgeries, comes the still wanting to look
Mhm.
youthful. When you're 52, 55, 60, like, oh my God, I want my boobs to still be up and perky. So then you might go get an enhancement. I want my butt to still do
Right.
this. I want instant gratification. I'll just it's going to take me a minute, but I'll just go to the gym and I'll just work
Right,
out.
right.
You know, it's
Get you some
just,
halaras.
yeah,
Okay.
I have them.
Okay.
I'm not going to lie.
Instant butt lift.
Instant. Ladies, get you the Halara leggings. It sucks you in, it poops you out a little bit. You want to if you were like this, you'd be like, "You got a little bit of this." It's amazing. Those are really good leggings.
Yeah.
They're not we don't sponsor, they're not sponsoring us or anything.
Oh,
I
yeah.
do wear those leggings and just like to go to the gym. It's just a really good they fit amazingly. But there are things that, you can do and without, I guess, again, if you do physical enhancements or de-enhancements, whatever it is, that's a choice. We're not bashing
Absolutely.
that. That's if that's what you want to do to love yourself or feel like,
Mhm.
what you that makes you feel good in the skin that you're in, by all means, do whatever makes you happy.
Mhm.
It's just for me, if that wasn't like a choice. I'm a chicken too. That's just not a choice. I'm like, let me just go.
That recovery is gonna be something crazy, right?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I'll be looking at the video. I'm like, God, that look like it hurt. God, that look like it hurt.
Well, I mean, I think that you gave some good
Mhm,
points on the things we should
mhm.
could do. And again, we're getting the rougher end of it. Men kind of don't
They be
go to the
easing,
same standards, but
man.
you
I
know,
just
it is
sometimes
what it is.
I know, but sometimes I'll be like, man, men in society. I'm like, y'all really do just get it a little bit easier. Did you know when we talk about, and I forgot to bring up this point in confidence? Um, there was, and I read something someplace that men, so applying for a job, right? Because we
Hmm.
talk about their confidence level,
Hmm.
applying for a job. You'll see a job and say out of 20 bullet points to say that this is what like you should have experience in this or blah 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 blah, say 20 bullet points. You feel like you don't really hit all of them, but you don't maybe hit not even less than half or whatever. You're like, I'm not going to apply because I'm not qualified. Do you know men will still
I'm
apply for
gonna
that
shoot my
job?
shot.
Yes, men will still, more men than women will apply for that job, even though they don't even meet the criteria or
Wow.
some of them, or they
Hmm.
be like, "Oh, I can do that." Out of 20, they might be able to do 2. They're like, "Imma still apply." A woman's like,
Think I work with them now.
yeah."
Well, apply for that job,
Yeah,
ladies.
yeah,
Apply for the
like,
job.
if anything from this segment, like, yes, there do things that make you feel good
Hmm.
in your skin. If you have some dead weight that's bringing you down that doesn't make you feel good in your skin,
Hmm.
you can change that. I'm not telling you I'm an advocate for what I'm an advocate for, what
Right.
I'm an advocate, you know, against, but you do that, you change that how you see fit in your life. If
Yeah.
you and also sometimes your environment plays a part in how you see yourself
Hmm.
and how you love yourself. If you're
True.
in an environment where you're constantly berated for your looks or comments are made about
Hmm.
things that you're wearing or how you look or things that you're eating and stuff that actually plays a role in it as well.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to change your external environment, as you said, because you have to love yourself more, but that external environment might be preventing that. Um, However other way you want to go, like if a gym is this thing for you, fine.
Yeah.
Meal prepping is a thing for you, fine. Going to get now as a woman, I can tell you, sometimes you just want to go and you get your hair done. You feel amazing after that.
True.
You feel amazing. You go get your lashes done, like you feel
Hmm.
amazing after
Get your
that.
nails
Your
done. Get your
nails, a
feet done.
pedicure, like
Right.
there are
All those
things that
things.
make you a culmination of things that make you feel like, oh, I feel pretty today.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like those cartoons, when you're like, I feel pretty today. I
I
feel
feel
so
pretty.
pretty. Yeah, right?
Yeah.
I'm so pretty. You know what I mean? But it's just anything that you do, man, just
Yeah.
and not to be selfish. This is not a selfish thing. Like anything that you do that's feel like it's gonna make you feel good about yourself. Like,
Contribute to your self-love
yeah,
attitude. I mean,
yeah,
within
do
as
it.
long as it's within being safe and all that
Yep.
stuff, I mean, do it
Not
because
morally
right,
irreprehensible. You know what I'm saying? You're
right.
not
Then I
harming
say do it.
anybody. Yeah,
I say
you know what I
do it.
mean?
I mean, but you guys gotta let us know what you
Yeah.
guys do
Yeah.
to kind of promote your own self love kind of thing. Or
Mhm.
were we on point with these? Is
Yeah.
anything that we missed? Just let us know.
Yeah. I'm just listen, it's 20 what 20 I was about to say
2025.
2024. Jesus. It's we already in 2025.
Yeah. Do the
Mm.
things that make you happy.
Yeah, do all the things that make you happy.
Yep.
Contribute to your self-love journey. Definitely journal.
Hmm.
Journal is another thing just to kind of get out some of the negative self-talk or chatter in your head
Right.
about things that you feel. Once you put it to paper, sometimes those things float around in your head for the longest, and once you actually get it out and you journal, you're like, this looks horrible. This sounds like that I was even
That's a
thinking about
terrible
myself.
idea.
Exactly. Or, I'm thinking about doing this, blah, blah, blah. That is a great idea. Make a
Yeah,
plan of action. Like you may have to do like a 30-day journey to self-love. Like
that's a good idea.
like
Maybe we have
30-day
to
journey. Yeah.
yeah, we have to start that.
I think we should. I think we should.
Ding,
Like,
ding, 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 ding,
yeah,
idea.
like day one. It could just be like, man, you see people glow up, right? You see people who
All the
fall out
time.
of marriages and relationships, they looking haggard
Let's
initially,
gloat. Okay.
but then all of a
Okay.
sudden, you see their skin glowing, you see their hair flowing.
Right? Glowing and flowing.
You know what I mean? The waist is snatched, the booty sitting right now.
That
Like
sounds like somebody I know.
you just I'm telling you,
Anyway.
it's just yeah. Let me shut up. No, I was gonna say
Anyway.
no, what I was gonna say, it was gonna be that sometimes your journey to self-love, your body gives you your body is letting you know the things that you need to do.
Mhm. You have
Like
to listen to it.
it you know what I'm saying? Like if you again, it could be an environment. If your hair is breaking off, you feel
Yep.
stress, it could be the stress of your environment. Your skin's breaking out, your skin looks dull. It
Mhm.
could be anything. It's certain you just have to take stock of what's around you, who's around you, your environment that you're in, external. You have to take stock into the things that you're digesting, not just food, what you're mentally
Yep.
digesting, emotionally digesting, spiritually digesting, like all of this stuff that you internalize.
Yep.
And
It's
you're
true.
like,
Your mental health.
it's yeah, a lot of stuff that goes into just loving yourself, and it's sometimes you gotta love yourself enough to just remove yourself from a situation.
True.
But so hopefully, put it in the comments.
Put it in the
Again, follow
comments.
us on all of the social medias. We
Yep.
have TikTok, we have Instagram, we have Facebook, we have
Facebook,
Lemon 8,
YouTube,
YouTube, definitely YouTube, like, subscribe.
and share.
And share. Definitely
Tell your
subscribe so
friends
you don't
because
miss
you
any
know they
notifications.
want to hear good stuff. So tell your
Yeah.
friends.
Yep. So as always, we're gonna end this episode with life is not about the I messed it up. It's not about the destination.
It's about the journey.
And no matter where you are,
It's where you're meant to be.
and here we are. So we'll see you on the next
See
episode.
you next time, guys. Bye.